And the heart is a muscle. And the heart is made up of cells, all of these little cells. And you can strengthen the heart and you can weaken the heart. And what goes through the heart, what the heart pumps, is blood. And so
the heart is the pump that pumps the blood all through the human body. So any part of the body that is not getting blood will actually die. It'll quickly die.
Are you tired of dealing with high blood pressure and the endless cycle of medications? Yes, you're not alone. In this must-watch video, Barbara O'Neill dives deep into the 5 surprising causes of high blood pressure that most people overlook. But that's not all. She'll also share 5 effective and natural solutions that the pharmaceutical industry would rather keep under wraps.
high blood pressure can be caused by dehydration. In dehydration, little capillary networks shut down to try and conserve full blood volume. That builds up pressure. High blood pressure can be caused by no salt. High blood pressure can be caused by table salt. High blood pressure can be caused by no greens. No greens, no magnesium, water can't get in. High blood pressure can be caused by no sun. No sun, no vitamin D, minerals can't get in. High blood pressure can be caused because of inactivity. When you exercise, you get the circulation of the blood out of the internal organs or areas of the body and out to the extremity, which takes pressure off the heart.
This isn't just about managing symptoms. It's about understanding the root causes and empowering yourself to take control of your health. If you're ready to break free from dependency on medications and explore holistic alternatives, don't skip. Your journey to better health starts here. Barbara O'Neill, a well-known alternative medicine practitioner, said, "One should keep his heart with all diligence. A healthy lifestyle can help you to keep your heart healthy." Barbara O'Neill points out 5 often overlooked causes of high blood pressure, shedding light on how our lifestyle choices and environmental factors can really impact on our cardiovascular health. It's all about those everyday habits and surroundings we might not even realize are affecting us. Now, let's explore these 5 causes of high blood pressure together. Number 1, use of table salt.
Table salt can greatly contribute to high blood pressure. And so what's the person told to do now? Stop the salt. Now, sodium levels are going too low. And when the sodium levels inside the cell go too low, the cell swells. What's that? High blood pressure again. You see, both extremes are unsafe. The table salt is dangerous because of the imbalance of minerals. No salt is dangerous because did you know that sodium is the 3rd most vital element needed for life? You'll find that in every anatomy and physiology book, every biology book, every chemistry book. The 3rd most vital element needed for life. What's the first? Oxygen. This salt overpowers everything and kills the taste buds, so basically you need more and more and more. And it brings this big imbalance. That explains why the table salt is not a good salt. It's a dangerous salt and shouldn't be taken, especially if the person's got high blood pressure. Someone's having a lot of table salt, and remember what table salt contains? 2 minerals. That's what table salt contains, just those 2 minerals. And if someone's having a lot of table salt, those 2 minerals are so harsh, if you were to inject them straight into the person, they would die.
Table salt. Can't imagine a kitchen without it, right? It's mainly made up of sodium chloride and plays a huge role in keeping our body functions in check, like maintaining fluid balance and helping nerve transmission. But here's the catch. Too much salt can lead to high blood pressure, which is a major risk factor for heart disease. The American Heart Association advises us to keep our sodium intake under 2,300 milligrams per day, ideally aiming for 1,500 milligrams for those with hypertension or other heart-related concerns. Barbara O'Neill points out that overloading on salt and completely avoiding it can be harmful. Too much salt can damage the endothelium, the inner lining of blood vessels, reducing their flexibility and raising blood pressure. Sodium causes blood vessels to constrict, making it harder for blood to flow, thus increasing blood pressure. Number 2, dehydration.
99% water. In a state of dehydration, the body can take some water from there to maintain full blood volume in the major arteries and veins. The blood gets very thick in dehydration. Our blood needs to be nice and thin so the heart can pump it easily, so that the little filtering units in our kidneys can filter it with ease.
So, are you drinking enough water? Actually, staying hydrated is serious business. Inadequate hydration can raise your blood pressure and negatively impact your heart health. Dehydration mainly occurs when your body loses more fluids than it takes in, leaving you short on the water necessary for proper functioning. At first, dehydration can drop your blood pressure because there's less fluid in your bloodstream. But then your body might hold on to sodium and water to compensate, leading to higher blood volume and pressure. It doesn't stop there. Dehydration can throw off your electrolyte balance, which is crucial for muscle and nerve functions, including those of your heart and blood vessels. This imbalance can bump up your blood pressure. According to WebMD, when your cells are thirsty, your blood vessels tighten. This happens because your brain tells your pituitary gland to release a chemical that makes them shrink. Plus, your kidneys cut back on urine to conserve fluids, making tiny blood vessels in your heart and brain squeeze more.
In a state of dehydration, the body can take some water from there to maintain full blood volume in the major arteries and veins. And so if I have pain in there, maybe it's called arthritis, but actually maybe it's just a state of dehydration. Our eyeball moves around in water, so we need water at every single step.
Barbara O'Neill reveals that in the state of dehydration, your body suffers to get enough water to maintain bodily function. She often points out how closely linked dehydration and heart health are. She explains that when you don't drink enough water, your blood volume drops, leading to higher blood pressure and putting extra strain on your heart. Number 3, vitamin D deficiency.
So vitamin D deficiency can cause high blood pressure because if there's a deficiency in vitamin C, the calcium and the minerals can't get in. And what the body does, it builds up pressure to try and force it in.
Did you know? Vitamins are essential organic compounds that fuel our body's metabolic processes. They support everything from immune function to energy production. But today, let's focus on one super vitamin, vitamin D. It plays a crucial role in bone health, but it's also a key player in maintaining a healthy heart. Research suggests that adequate vitamin D levels are linked to a lower risk of hypertension and heart disease. Sounds fascinating, right? So, how does it work? Well, vitamin D influences blood pressure by promoting healthy blood vessels and reducing inflammation. Plus, it helps regulate calcium metabolism, which is vital for your heart's function. Barbara O'Neill, a renowned health educator, emphasizes that a deficiency in vitamin D can lead to several health issues, including high blood pressure. Low levels of vitamin D can contribute to increased arterial stiffness and inflammation, both of which can raise blood pressure.
UVB rays, when they hit the skin, they convert a form of cholesterol just under the skin to vitamin D. And vitamin D is essential for the assimilation of calcium. Calcium is called the king.
Barbara O'Neill highlights the importance of maintaining healthy vitamin D levels. Barbara often advocates for natural sources of vitamin D, such as getting sunlight. The UV rays in the sunlight produce vitamin D under the skin, which helps in the process of calcium assimilation in the body. Sounds amazing, right? For your information, calcium is essential for muscle contraction and blood vessel function. Number 4, wheat and sugar.
And glucose cannot get into the cell by itself. It must have insulin. But if the pancreas is worn out because the person's eating so much sugar and so much wheat, then the insulin is depleted and the glucose can't get into the cell. Can you see what's happening here? The person's mineral deficient, vitamin D deficient, insulin deficient, and this is the CBD. This is where all these nutrients are required. And the cell says, we've got a problem here. How can we get it in? We're lacking insulin, we're lacking magnesium, we're lacking vitamin D. The body says, oh no, we'll just force it in. What's that? Blood pressure. So can you see high blood pressure has many causes?
Do you often grab processed foods and drinks? You might want to reconsider. They can hike your blood pressure and harm your cardiovascular health. Let's break it down. Wheat and sugar can mess with your body in ways that boost blood pressure. For some people, gluten in wheat triggers inflammation, affecting blood vessels and contributing to high blood pressure. Eating too many refined wheat products can also lead to weight gain, a major risk factor for hypertension. High sugar intake is no better. It can cause metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions, increasing your risk of heart disease and stroke. Sugar promotes visceral fat, which raises blood pressure and cardiovascular risk.
By the way, the refined grains, it's almost as high as sugar. But there is one grain that gets the blood sugar levels higher than refined sugar. Is that a surprise? And the grain that does that is what? Bread and cereal and pasta and cakes, etc., and pizza are all made out of predominantly one grain. What's that one grain? It's wheat. Now, in the 1950s, wheat went through intensive crossbreeding. And the reason they put it through intensive crossbreeding is they wanted to create a plant with a high yield of grain so that would help with the starvation crisis in Africa, in Mexico, in India. And eventually, Dr. Norman Boulay got a Nobel Prize for his hybridized wheat. At first, the stalk broke before the grain was fully ripe because wheat used to grow that high. Do you remember that? We had a 25-year-old wheat farmer come to our retreat. He'd never heard of such a thing. He didn't know that wheat used to grow that high.
Barbara O'Neill shares a lot about this. She explains how refined wheat can spike blood sugar levels, increase insulin resistance, and contribute to hypertension. She also reveals how high sugar intake, especially from processed foods and sugary drinks, is linked to weight gain and high blood pressure. Number 5. Mineral imbalance.
Because there are two minerals that cause that heart to beat. Well, there's a few, but basically these two. Calcium constricts, magnesium relaxes. Calcium constricts, magnesium relaxes. And so an important part of getting proper heart health, especially if someone has high blood pressure, is magnesium. Magnesium is a water-hungry molecule.
Minerals are crucial for our body's various functions. Think of calcium, potassium, magnesium, and sodium. They're vital for maintaining cardiovascular health and regulating blood pressure. Now, mineral imbalances happen when we have too much or too little of these essentials, which can mess with our body's operations and lead to health issues.
Obviously, when people live on fast food that is totally mineral deficient, they're going to be mineral deficient. But we're finding people today who are even eating a lot of fruits and vegetables and are finding out that they're mineral deficient, and it's because of the way that they're grown.
The tricky part? We might not notice a mineral imbalance right away, but over time, it can cause serious problems. Calcium is essential for muscle contraction and blood vessel function. Potassium regulates blood pressure and supports heart muscle function. Magnesium is key for keeping a steady heartbeat, regulating blood pressure, and preventing arrhythmias. So when these minerals are out of whack, it can lead to irregular heartbeats, high blood pressure, and even heart attacks. Now let's take a closer look at magnesium. Magnesium is a very crucial macromineral for our body. O'Neill reveals that a lack of magnesium can lead to irregular heart rhythms and high blood pressure. Similarly, low potassium levels are linked to a higher risk of heart disease, and too much sodium can lead to hypertension and other heart issues. Now, let's dive into 5 solutions of high blood pressure.
So we've got to look at the heart and how we can keep it strong. We've got to look at the blood vessels, how we can keep them supple. And we've got to look at the blood, how we can keep it nice and thin so that it's running well.
Number 1. Use of herbs.
He gave us the hawthorn berry. It's an English herb, but it loves growing in places like Victoria and New Zealand. And a lot of the English brought over the hawthorn berry because they make quite nice hedges. I don't know if you've got hawthorn berries growing here. The hawthorn berry strengthens the heart. If the blood pressure's high, it'll bring it down. If it's low, it'll bring it up. It strengthens the heart.
Barbara O'Neill shares amazing ways to manage cardiovascular health through natural remedies. She discovered a few powerful herbs and spices that can make a real difference in lowering high blood pressure and reducing the risk of heart disease.
The best heart herb is cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper does 3 things. Cayenne pepper thins the blood. It's a powerful blood thinner. We've had some guests come to us who are on aspirin to thin the blood. The research now is showing that aspirin causes brain bleeds, causes stomach bleeds, and it causes eye bleeds. Cayenne pepper does not cause any bleeds. In fact, if cayenne pepper is going through your arteries and your veins and it finds any bleeding, it'll seal the bleeding blood vessel. How come it can thin the blood and yet seal bleeding blood vessels? Well, God said that he gave herbs for the service of man. So the cayenne pepper comes in and says, where would you like me? I'll thin this blood. Oops, I'll seal off that bleeding blood vessel.
So, cayenne pepper, as a potential aid for lowering blood pressure due to its active compound, capsaicin. Capsaicin may help improve circulation and promote the relaxation of blood vessels, which can contribute to lower blood pressure. O'Neill often recommends incorporating cayenne pepper into the diet, either in cooking or as a supplement, while also emphasizing the importance of taking it in moderation.
What does the hawthorn berry do? The hawthorn berry regulates the heartbeat. So if someone has got heart arrhythmia, the hawthorn berry can help with that.
Barbara O'Neill refers to hawthorn berries as a powerful herb for cardiovascular health, particularly for lowering blood pressure. She notes that hawthorn is rich in antioxidants and may improve blood flow by dilating blood vessels. Its ability to support heart function can also help in managing hypertension. O'Neill often emphasizes that hawthorn can be taken in various forms, such as teas or supplements.
Garlic has been studied for about 20 years now on the wonders or the wonderful effect it has on the heart and on the blood.
Barbara O'Neill often emphasizes the health benefits of garlic, particularly its potential to lower blood pressure. She highlights that garlic contains compounds like allicin, which may help relax blood vessels and improve circulation. Regular consumption of garlic, whether raw or in supplement form, can support cardiovascular health and contribute to reduce blood pressure levels. Number 2. The magic of Celtic salt.
There's a French doctor named Dr. Lelangre, and he's written a whole book on salt. He said, when people come to me with high blood pressure, I put them on Celtic salt. Why does he put them on Celtic salt? Because Celtic salt contains 82 minerals. It's a hand-harvested sea salt. So the minerals are in the Celtic salt in their balanced form.
Celtic salt is essentially known as hand-harvested sea salt. Unlike regular table salt, Celtic salt is packed with extra minerals like magnesium, calcium, potassium, zinc, and iron. These minerals can help relax your blood vessels, improve circulation, and reduce the risk of heart disease. Plus, potassium and magnesium in Celtic salt help balance sodium levels, which can lower blood pressure. According to Barbara O'Neill, the higher levels of magnesium in Celtic salt improve hydration. Magnesium is a water-hungry molecule. It helps keep your cells hydrated. Staying well hydrated is key for your heart, making it easier for your heart to pump blood through your vessels to your muscles.
So when you take a crystal of Celtic salt, put it on your tongue, and some say, how big's a crystal? Well, If you've got high blood pressure, start small, about the size of a sesame seed. I don't have high blood pressure, so I might have about 3 times little sesame seeds. Put it on your tongue, your mucous membranes start absorbing the minerals. The magnesium is taken to the cell membrane and you drink your water, and that magnesium pulls that water inside the cell. It's the quickest way to hydrate a body. The only time excess water drinking can be dangerous is if people drink too much at once and don't have the minerals that are in the Celtic salt to pull that water inside the cell. I've had people complain to me. They say, I'm drinking more water now and now I'm going to the bathroom all day. So I say, are you having the salt? Have a little crystal before every glass of water. And ideally, we should be having approximately 8 glasses of water a day.
O'Neill suggests putting a tiny piece of Celtic salt in your mouth and then drinking a glass of water. The mucous membrane in your mouth absorbs the magnesium from the salt, benefiting your heart by maintaining good blood circulation. Simple, right? Give it a try and see how it works for you. Number 3, physical activity and exercises.
And the most powerful way to oxygenate your body is exercise. And exercise is probably the number one way to strengthen the heart. And probably your pulse is one indication of how strong your heart is. The stronger your heart is, the lower your pulse would be. And that's not genetics.
Ever noticed how a good workout leaves you feeling more energized than before you started? It's like a natural caffeine boost. Regular exercise strengthens the heart muscle, improving its efficiency in pumping blood. Physical activity can help lower resting blood pressure by improving blood vessel function and reducing vascular resistance. It reduces stress and anxiety, which can contribute to high blood pressure.
The most probably effective exercise that can be done today, and all the experts agree, is the high-intensity interval training. And as the name implies, these are intervals of high intensity.
So, high-intensity interval training improves fitness and recovery time, which becomes especially important as you age. High-intensity exercise rapidly produces lactic acid, but during recovery, the body efficiently converts it back to pyruvate, allowing for continued energy expenditure even at rest. Regular exercise enhances oxygen delivery to cells, improving overall energy, mood, and lung capacity, which is essential for maintaining fitness and preventing chronic fatigue. Barbara O'Neill recommends a mix of aerobic activities such as walking, cycling, swimming, and strength training to enhance overall cardiovascular health. Number 4, staying hydrated.
Symptom of disease, he says, must be one of the body's many cries for water. That's the title of his book. Our brain cells shrink when they don't have enough water. Headaches are common when we don't have enough water. Negative thought patterns can develop when our brain cells don't have enough water. I can get my hand to go in and out like that without pain because around every joint there's fluid. And that fluid is synovial fluid, and it is 99% water. In a state of dehydration, the body can take some water from there to maintain full blood volume in the major arteries and veins. And so if I have pain in there, maybe it's called arthritis, but actually maybe it's just a state of dehydration. Our eyeball moves around in water. So we need water at every single step.
Earlier in this video, we learned how dehydration hurts our heart health. Actually, hydration is all about keeping your body topped up with fluids, which is super important for overall health. Water is the key player here, and it's crucial to drink enough throughout the day, especially when you're active or in hot weather. Hydration is really important for regulating blood pressure too. When you're well hydrated, your blood volume stays healthy, which is vital for good circulation. Well-hydrated blood vessels can expand and contract more efficiently, helping to keep your blood pressure stable.
So here's the rule of thumb. So 50 pound 50-pound body weight to one, well, I'll say quart for your sake, for 1 quart or 1 litre. So that means if someone is 100 pound, they should be having 2 quarts a day.
Staying hydrated is great for your heart and managing blood pressure levels. Barbara O'Neill highlights the vital link between hydration and blood pressure. She stresses that proper hydration is essential for maintaining blood volume and ensuring healthy circulation. Drinking enough fluids helps keep your blood pressure steady because it allows your blood vessels to work properly. She also suggests taking a tiny piece of Celtic salt with water to stay hydrated. So, remember to drink up and keep those fluids flowing. Number 5, right diet.
Barbara, what kind of diet do you follow? The diet that I follow is a plant-based diet. I eat a high-fibre diet. I eat generous proteins. I have legumes. In fact, some days I have them every meal. That's my 2 main meals. And I have fats, not a lot of fats. I might have a teaspoon of olive oil a meal. I might have a few nuts and seeds after every meal. I have a fruit meal and I have a vegetable meal. So my fruit meal is usually breakfast, where I might have 2 or 3 pieces of fruit, usually the sourdough spelt toast with a little olive oil and avocado and either red lentils or brown lentils or black-eyed beans or scrambled organic tofu. And some nuts and seeds. That's my breakfast. Lunch is usually always a big salad, always some baked, steamed or stir-fried veggies, and again a legume dish. If I do eat at night, it will be very light. It might be avocado and a few crackers. It might be soup, so something very light.
Is it okay to have desserts?
Certainly is. I make my husband an apple pie. Try to do it once a week. But that apple pie is made with spelt flour. The apples are stewed, and just when I finished, I put some sultanas or raisins in them. I put them in the pie dish, put the top on and bake it, and we might serve that with a coconut cream or a nut cream. We don't have it every day, maybe once a week.
So you're plant-based?
Yes.
In the beginning, we discussed how wheat and sugar foods affect your overall heart's well-being. So in that case, eating right is the key to supporting overall health. If you're dealing with high blood pressure or heart issues, a proper diet can make a huge difference. Barbara O'Neill can guide you with her natural approach to wellness. She emphasizes a plant-based diet and natural lifestyle to prevent and reverse heart diseases. You need to focus on reducing carbohydrates in your diet while prioritizing fiber, protein, and healthy fats through nutritious food choices. Barbara O'Neill prioritizes whole grains, fruits, and vegetables because they're packed with nutrients and fiber. She recommends lean meats, fish, and low-fat dairy products. She's clear about cutting down on saturated fats, cholesterol, and refined sugars, since these can lead to high blood pressure and other health problems. So, eating nutrient-dense, low-carbohydrate foods like corn, salad, sweet potato, and chickpeas can sustain energy levels without hunger for long periods, while avoiding caffeine, wheat, and refined sugar. So, shifting your diet can be a game changer.
And with that, we wrap up today's video. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. For more queries, I have also added some studies at the end of this video description. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Stay healthy, stay fine.